Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, so I don't have the stand underneath this time because I'd have to move them in again. And Minerva, can you not shake the thing, please? Yeah. I'm gonna sell you on eBay. Okay. So, what was I gonna talk about? Oh, Nella, your video, right? So, happy birthday to Primrose. I realize it's not quite that time yet, but almost. So happy birthday. That is very exciting. She's like, yeah, like you say, old enough for ID. That's very exciting for her and for you too, I suppose. Minerva, if you could stop shaking the whole table, that would be a big help. So, what else did you talk about? I just bumped it that time. That was my fault. Ballet. I if you are interested in talking about it more, I would be very interested in hearing more about your ballet school stuff, especially like what it's like going back after such a long time. I'm sure that I have mentioned on here before. I vaguely remember having mentioned that I also. Can you just stop doing that? But I also took ballet classes as a kid. I took it for 4 years, and I was not in any way in any kind of professional track. I mean, I was taking it in, rural Oregon, so you can imagine it was not in any way like a professional quality situation. I Can you please not? I am gonna sell you on eBay. My my whole ballet school situation. I shouldn't say ballet school like it. That makes it sound like it was some kind of actual school situation. I took ballet classes once a week for 4 years. Ballet and tap. You were required to take both. You couldn't quit tap until you were like 10. Because it was supposed to teach you rhythm or something. I didn't want to take tap, but they made me. So I took ballet and tap for 4 years. And it was an experience that I had. I liked ballet as an activity. I was not good at it in any way, as you can imagine. But I liked doing it. I liked I liked going. I liked, like, can you please not? I liked the activity of it, but the class and the teacher situation was not great. The only reason I ended up in ballet to begin with is because I was kind of a klutzy child, and my mom had heard this idea that, like, if your child is very klutzy, you should put them in ballet. It will teach them grace and whatever. It didn't work. But like I was not like, clumsy in the way that clumsy characters in movies are clumsy, where like you are always dropping things and running into people and whatever. Like, but I think now, looking back on it, that I have had trouble with like my joints and sort of how my body just kind of works my whole life, which I did not realize at the time. I just thought everybody's bodies didn't quite work right. And also, like, I know it is very difficult to imagine that I have ever had a growth spurt of any sort in my life, but I did. It's just that I started out so much smaller than everybody else that, they kept growing and I just never caught up. But what would happen is, how like when kids have a sudden growth spurt, they get really like klutzy for a while because their limbs are suddenly a different like size and shape, and they have to kind of like accommodate and get used to the new shape of their body. I I would not grow for the entire year, and then over the summer, I would suddenly grow a lot within like a month or two. And I did this every single year up until I stopped growing entirely. I always thought everybody grew like that. I was very surprised when I realized that other people apparently grow in a more consistent way. Like, that seems strange to me. But yeah, I would grow like I would just suddenly grow 2 inches in the space of like 2 months over the summer, and then like none of my limbs would work anymore. And there's a whole period of my childhood where I just had skinned knees basically all the time, because I would just be walking along and I would trip suddenly for no reason and go down. And I still have a scar on my knee, in fact, that I don't think is from any particular incident. I think it's just from like this period of time where I just kept skinning my knees over and over again. And it is still there. And so I was, my mom in desperation was like, how about ballet? Would you like to, do you want to sign up for ballet? Doesn't that sound fun? And I cannot stress this enough. I did not know what ballet was. I did not know what it looked like, because I was 5 years old. It was rural Oregon in the mid-'80s. I had never seen anybody, not just ballet, but I had never seen any kind of dancing, really. The only dancing I ever saw was if there was a movie on TV that had a scene where people were dancing in the background or something like that. I had no idea what it was. I literally was she asked me if I wanted to take ballet classes, and I literally was like, what is that? I don't know what that is. And then she was trying to explain it to me, and I was like, it sounds neat, I guess. I don't know. And I really, really did not have any concept of what it was supposed to look like. So you can imagine how I danced. I didn't know what dancing was supposed to look like in any way at all, much less what ballet was supposed to look like. And so, they would tell me, put your arm like this, and so I would put my arm like that. I didn't know you were supposed to do it in a certain way, or that it was supposed to look a certain way, or you were supposed to move a certain way. I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing, and no one ever explained it to me. Okay, here is an example of the quality of education I was receiving. My very first day of ballet class, and this was with the better teacher. I had two different teachers. We had a different teacher for the first year, because the main teacher did not teach the 5-year-olds. So when I was 5, the first day, David sat us down, and the first thing that we did, literally the very first thing that we did, is he taught us to point and flex our feet. And so he made everybody sit in a circle in pairs, and he went around making sure that everybody was doing it correctly, because apparently the concept of point and flex is very difficult for 5-year-olds, because a lot of people were having trouble figuring out which one was which. And so we watched him go around to everybody else, and then he got to us, and he got to the girl next to me, and he was like, okay, point and flex, and she did it wrong. He's like, no, okay, this is point, this is flex, and he had to explain it to her, and he's like, okay, point, flex, good, excellent. And then he got to me, and he was like, okay, point your toe. And so I pointed my toe, and he was like, no, point your toe, point it. And I was like, okay, but I am pointing my toe though, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like pointing my foot, and he's like, no, but point. And I'm like, pointing, I'm pointing as hard as I can. And he keeps going, point. And so finally I was like, am I doing it wrong? Am I the one who's wrong about what point and flex means? So I'm experimentally tried to flex my foot. And he's like, no, that's flex. And it's like, point is right, point. So I'm pointing my toes. And he's like, no, but point. And he just keeps saying point. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, And so I'm pointing my feet just as hard as I can, and my feet are starting to cramp up, it's really getting to be a bad thing. And finally he goes, no, point. And he reaches over and starts to very gently push on my toe, and then his whole face changes, and he goes, oh, okay. And I can see him recalibrating in his head. And he goes, well, work on that, okay? And then he goes on to the next girl. No one ever explained to me what was going on there. I did not realize until I was in my 30s watching dancing shows on TV, and I had like a galaxy brain moment where I finally realized what happened there, why he kept telling me to point my toe, is because my feet, unlike ballerinas' feet, are very rigid. They do not curve, right? They're very flat. Like I have an arch, but like my foot itself does not bend. My feet are not flexible at all. No one ever explained this to me in 4 years. No one ever told me what was wrong with my feet. So, I mean, I am a little bitter about the quality of education I received in my 4 years of ballet. It got way worse than that. Like, I mean, it was much worse in the following years. But yeah, I'm very bitter about my whole ballet experience, which it upsets me because I really enjoyed doing it, and I would have enjoyed it more if anybody had ever like tried to help me not be terrible. But alas, I mean, to be fair, I would never have been a good dancer because like I am just not. My body, I have said before and will say again, like my body has always sort of felt like if you had a marionette that the strings were all attached wrong and you didn't know how to work a marionette anyway, and you were like you were just sort of sent up with this broken marionette. Minerva, can you not? That's kind of how my body works. And so like I would not have ever been good at ballet to begin with, but like it did not have to be as bad as it was. That's on them. And I quit when I was like, I think I was 9 when I quit, and I was really upset about it because like this whole time I had been waiting and waiting to get to be old enough to dance on point, and also to be old enough to quit tap. And literally the semester that I would have been able to do both of those things was when I quit. Can you, madam, you are really getting on my last nerve. Oh, I know, it's hard. It's a hard life. Why don't you come over here and sit with me? Okay, so I have now accidentally been ranting about ballet for like 13 minutes. I should maybe stop. This was not how I intended this to go. Oops, God, hold on. This was not how I intended this video to go, but I guess this is the video that you're getting. This is what happens. This is why I should probably script my videos, and yet I never do. So yeah, so no, I would really enjoy hearing about like whatever is going on with you ballet wise, either what you're doing now or like what it was like, you know, experiences from classes that you took before or whatever. Like, hi, Min. Whatever, you know, whatever you're interested in talking about, or none of those things if you're not interested in talking about them. But it was nice to see you. Many happy returns to Primrose. And I guess I am done here. So, Minerva is very interested in me getting off of here, and I think the issue is that she would like me to put in a drama for her to watch. So I am being told to stop, essentially, is what is happening right now. So please don't put your feet on the keyboard again. Okay, so I love you all. I will see you next week, or possibly sooner, if we can get the conference call situation set up. I am sorry for causing a trouble there. So yes, I hope to see you all very soon. So hope everybody's week is going well. I love you a bunch. Don't forget to be awesome.